So I got this loader as partial trade for a job we're doing, and owner said it had a couple issues, but it's a 1966 955 cat with rippers, standard bucket. He said it used to have forks but got rid of them, and said he cut all of the roads on his property with this thing, and looks like in pretty good shape. But we brought it up the hill to see, what it would do and help us cut this pad a little bit. And it stopped steering. We parked it for like an hour or so, and now it doesn't steer anymore. So I'm going to start it up, see if maybe that was just a issue it had for a second, and maybe it steers again, or gonna sit here and fix it. So I brought miscellaneous tools if we have to adjust the steering. Brought some tractor fluid and see if we can get this thing going. But it's about as cheap as machines get. I traded about $1,000 worth of work for it, and owner's paying me the rest. So pretty good deal. I mean, it's worth $3,500 in scrap metal, but that's not really my plan with it. It's everything functions as it should. It's just stuck at the very top of this hill, so got to work on it up here. Let's fire this thing up, see if I can get it to steer. Switch is right there. Turns the batteries on. Fuel lever right there, make sure that's good. And then let's turn the fuel up a little bit. All right, maybe some glow plugs aren't the worst idea. Turn the gas up a little bit. All right, well, batteries aren't too happy, but this guy is a little old. Maybe see if we can turn the gas all the way up here. Well, that sucks. I'm gonna go grab another battery, I guess, and give her another go. Found the problem there. So the problem right now is it will go back and forth just fine, but if I stop one track, both tracks stop. I'll go forward here, hit the left one, I should be turning left, and it stops the whole machine. So I'll turn it up here. Try the right, and then in reverse. Can't get anything to happen. This brake pedal doesn't really do a whole lot. See here, everything is released as it should be. It just doesn't want to turn. And it's pretty heavy to not be able to turn it itself. I don't know if we're going to be able to get it down the hill without fixing it. So, it is still broken. Put it in neutral. Drop the rippers down. And we'll shut her down. So I've read a couple things online, and it really looks like we just need to pull this plate and maybe even this cover right here and kind of see what's going on. Maybe see if we can adjust the linkages, because it does look like it doesn't really seem like they're doing a whole lot until the end. So I'm gonna start doing that and see what we can do. All right, so I've taken the seat and the floor out, and I guess I didn't really take much of a look, but there's a dipstick right here, and it does look like we are pretty low. But since I already took let's check that again, and we're not exactly level, but it should probably be showing on that dipstick. But since we're already here, I think I'm gonna take the cover off here and look, see how the filters are, see if anything's messed up. Now that I'm looking at how they play is, it really doesn't look too bad. Clean all that brush out of there, see if we can adjust it a little bit, but everything's looking pretty good. I'm going to take the filter housing apart and take a look in there and see how bad it is. All right, so I got the pre-screen out of its hole. Just took that little guy off, and it has an O-ring that's still looking pretty good, but the pre-screen is pretty dirty. It's not too bad, but you should be able to like see all the way through that, really, and there's a decent amount of gunk from over the years. So I'm going to clean that up, fill up the system. It's a little bit low. I mean, I haven't really actually fixed anything. I'm just cleaning stuff, and hopefully just filling her up makes her move or turn. Well, that's not bad, but that's about as good as 2 cans of brake fluid will get you. Didn't really think it'd be that much, so I kind of forgot to buy more. But it's a lot better than it was. I mean, I can see mostly through it. There's a couple of chunks still in there, but the point is to get this guy down the hill. So I'm gonna clean it up a little bit with some rags, get all the stuff on the outside, hopefully get a couple of the chunks from in there, and then put it back together. All right, so I'm out here for day 2. Kind of got a little sidetracked the other day when I was here, and took that filter out, cleaned it, took the pre-screen out, cleaned it, proceeded to break this hose, and then had to go get another one. Put everything back together, filled the fluids. Still doesn't work, and I was kind of not very happy about that whole situation, so forgot to film most of it. But I have done a little bit more research on the situation, and according to the manuals, these caps right here are pedal adjusters, so I'm going to take those off, mess around there. We took these covers off to make sure everything still looked okay. Everything looks okay in there, so I'm going to take those caps off and try to adjust the pedals and see if we can make it work. Okay. Well, that would do it. There is no set nut in there. So I think there's supposed to be a nut that holds this rod from backing off. And I guess I'll check the other one to see if that's the case as well. But looking to be somewhere in the right track here. So I'm gonna get the right size socket for the top piece and then tighten that down and see if at least we can move one direction. So this is very, very loose. It's probably been working its way out because it has no nut to hold it in place. So I think that is my problem here. So I'm going to tighten this up and probably just go ahead and do the other side since clearly this is not good. Hopefully fixes the situation and then we can steer. Get nice and tight. Go ahead and do the other side and see what happens. All right, so now that the left side is good and tight, I'm gonna see if the pedal feels any different, which it should. Well, I don't know, might as well check while we're here. And then if it does feel different, I think that's a good sign. It's not that easy to move around. Oh, very stiff. And this one, you just see if I can get a good angle of this with no seat in here. I mean, that one just flops around. And then this guy really feels like I'm putting some pressure on her. So I guess I'll tighten up the other side and then see if I did it right, which this one does feel very stiff in comparison. So I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing. Maybe I over tightened it, but that is definitely moving things a lot better than that one is. So let's go do the right side, then hopefully take her for a spin. The other side was a bit easier to get off from underneath the seat, so I'm still glad I have the seat out here. But see if this is also loose. It's turned a little bit already, and yeah, I mean, this is, it's like freaking 10 turns loose. I'm dropping some rat shit in there, which I'm sure isn't great for it, but tighten this up. Let's see if I can. It's not even a good place to set the camera, but no set nuts. I'll figure out what thread pattern it is, get some nuts on here, but for right now, just gotta freaking get this thing down the hill. So that's pretty tight. See if we can one-handed get some of these rat turds that I saw fall in there out. Get them off the gasket surface. And let's put this sucker back on. I'll probably replace the gaskets here. I'll probably buy some of those and replace it. It's pretty easy to get to, and I need to take it off anyways to get the new nuts on there. Then once I do this, I still got to tighten these two sight covers back up and then fire her up. It's much more pain in the ass with all these tubes going this way. This side is a lot more open than this one, but still not too bad. Okay, got it started. But now it doesn't move at all. So I must have adjusted them maybe a little bit too tight. So maybe I'll back them off a little bit and see if I can get it to move again. It's just doesn't really seem like I can feel it clicking in gear just ever so slightly, but it just doesn't seem like it's doing anything. And the parking brake is off. There's no real reason why it should be. I mean, all the other hydraulics are working just fine, so there's no real reason for it to be not moving, other than the fact that the pedals are maybe, you know, having tension on at all times. I never adjusted the actual foot deals, but I was hoping to adjust them a little bit tighter and then have some sort of something to work with, maybe a little bit of turning going on. But loosen them back up and see if that fixes it. All right, so I turned everything back about one turn. Loosened the pedals up a little bit. They're not as loose as they were, you know, happy medium. Get this thing fired up. See if she turns. All right, I'll back it up here. All right, now she rolls. She clearly is moving a little bit, so I'm gonna up the throttle here. Oh. We are turning. All right, so it turns, left track disengages, so that's good news. I forgot my rippers down, so I'm gonna raise the rippers up, give it a little bit of throttle here. All right, maybe the bucket, maybe we need that up. That is good news there. So I'm going to tighten everything up and make sure that everything down there is looking pretty clean. I left a couple of bolts loose, just needed to know if I needed to make any more adjustments, but she works. All right, so time to tighten all these up. Got about 14 bolts to tighten up, and probably tighten up the battery lugs as well. And then I'll take her for a spin, make sure that she's working well enough to get down the hill, because we're pretty far up here, and I don't really want to get this thing stuck in the middle of the road, because I like to get my tools and skid steer and everything down. We're kind of roads down there in the valley, and we're on the very tippy top. So, but pretty impressed with how this thing's doing, other than the steering. All the hydraulics seem to work really well. Not a very good dozer operator, because I always leave the rippers up, and especially when I'm working back here, every time I get out of this thing, freaking rippers are up. So gotta keep reminding myself of that. But normally I like to work on things a little bit cleaner than this. You know, pressure wash it before, but this wasn't really the ideal spot for this thing to break down. It's a pretty long hike if I don't have a piece of equipment here. So get this thing back together, make sure that she's running good, use it for a little bit, and get her down so we can load it up on a trailer.